ready. Guys, already back on the last one. We're back with game publishers reportedly don't want to be anywhere near GTA 6 release. None of them want to compete. That's funny. They're afraid. Oh, that is actually cool. Actually, well, that's something that they added. What was the person that? The girl that played with Dom. I'm trying to remember her name. Well, that's different. They definitely. Huh. Wait, does it do that on other channels now? I'm actually curious. No, it doesn't. Okay, so I think it just depends. Okay. That is interesting. Alright. Or maybe it's for the people that actually have their own account. So it seems like they YouTube added where I can see public subscribers, uh, which is not something they had before. So that's definitely different. So interesting, very interesting, cool. I actually like that update, actually, or that change. We're finally back with Dan Reviews' Rogue Man series, season 2. Been a hot minute. Apologize for that. Apologize for that. Well, alrighty. Oops. I tried accidentally sending it twice to the same place. Whoopsies. My bad. What the hell? Oh. Okay, I was gonna be like, bruh. I was only popping up 2 options for a second there. I was like, bruh. So, Well, I'm also gonna get Dan's channel and all that. Give me a second. Hit that subscribe button, smash the like button if you guys are new. We appreciate it. Go for 5 likes. Crush that. I'll do the next 2 episodes sooner rather than later. 3 and 4. This is episode 2 Justified and episode 1 I do not know. The something. I'll find out when I go. Let's see here. Let's see. What? Why are you gotta be so accurate on the typing? That's stupid. Bro, I hit G. What the hell? Stupid as hell. Alright. We'll put it in here right now. Wait, didn't I? No, that's not. Alrighty. And then the next one is Hedgehog Bros. Let it go, guys. Daily Daily. You know, that's surprised. That's getting a lot of support. I'm surprised. We're averaging like 60 views every single stream, which is crazy. I didn't think it would be averaging that. Oh, excuse me, we're now getting 70s. My apologies. 77, the last one got 76, the one before 63, 89, and 72. I mean, that's all solid numbers. I mean, I can't. That's wow. It's interesting, I will say. Oh. Stupid. Don't mind that. I'll get another. Kicker. Shit was part 2. I'll do that. I was gonna do that tonight, but So I'll do that. Or sorry, last night. So yeah, so I'll do Shitless Part 2 tonight. Hedgehog. Shitless Part 2. Those will be guaranteed. Trying to think. Trying to think. Those two are guaranteed. I don't know about after. I might just stick with those two. Sometimes trying to squeeze the third one in is more complicated than it may seem. Because I know I gotta do Family Guy and King of the Hill too. Those are other twos that gotta continue. But I gotta like grind like a few of them in a span of a couple days to kind of catch up. Excuse me. On, not being 100% consistent. What's up, Dan? I figured you'd jump in. What's good, my man? You're almost halfway to 400K, man. It's crazy. You're on a little bit of a stay still type, and now you're like spewing right back up with it. I had my spewing moment, and then now I'm just loving the 60s, evidently. The 60s seem to be my favorite number, evidently. As I keep jumping around. 63, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. I mean, just jumping. But I have faith. We'll keep on grinding, and we will hit that 6.1K. I know that we will. It's a matter of time. Get some other reactions kind of going again, and we got some crazy review streams coming up. We got a movie every single week, so yay, Mr. Ray's. Oh man, god dang! Never thought April would be the month to be busy with that, but here we are. So, that's crazy. Even start of May too. I even go into May a little bit, so I don't even get a break from it. Keep making these damn good movies, or at least interesting ones that you're like, shit, I want to see that. It's like, damn. Yeah, that's crazy. Grateful for it. 100. Apparently, I love the number 321. Yeah, you were at it for a bit there. Like I said though, that's the YouTube way. You hit that certain number, and then you're just like, all right, it's gonna stay here for a bit, and then all of a sudden, boom, then you get another boost. And the boost may be small, it may be big, it may be medium, depending, obviously. Depending. So, you know how it goes. And that's the number I'm hitting right now. Is I'm just between 63, or no, 62, all the way up to 69, and I just keep fluctuating in between that fireball. So, we just riding with it. Hopefully, we'll break it. But hey, it's all good. Keeping the grind going. Can't believe you're already starting season 2. Feels like you just started a little. Ha! Right? Shit. And your episodes are getting longer too, so you got that going. Got that going. I think you got more episodes in season 2 too, if I'm not mistaken, don't you? Let's see. 5, 6. Oh yeah, yeah, you do. Huh. Damn! All the way up to 12. Shite. What do you do? Stick with that? Oh no, you don't. You go down to 9. Huh. That's crazy. How then you go down? Oh. Well, that is interesting, isn't it? Now my question is, with the way you have it played out, with season 3, after season 3, then it goes to the Prey. Are you supposed to watch the Prey before season 4, or no? I'm just going by the way it's set out. I would not think so. It's your series, not mine. Season 4 is long. Well, yep, yeah. Jesus. Damn. 18 episodes? You beat The Walking Dead. Damn. That's crazy. Beat The Walking Dead in that one, brother. If you want to do the Prey first, you can, but it's completely up to you. Well, that's not helpful. That's not helpful. What do you mean it's up to me? I mean, I'm probably going to watch the Prey. I'm not saying I'm not going to, but I'm saying to go from season 3 to then the Prey to then back to season 4. That's what I'm trying to get at. I mean, is it like, is there a tie-in in between, or is there not? Like, that's what I'm trying to get at. I mean, if there isn't, then piss on it. But and I'll just keep going season by season until I catch up, and then go back and watch the Prey and all that. And there were 4 spin-off shows. It's completely optional show. Oh, okay. Alright, so then I'll just go right to season 4. And then continue, and then when I finish it, or when I catch up, excuse me, then I'll go back to the Prey later. So, yeah, I know you're probably gonna blame Gimple. Yeah, it's forceful. I mean, it's not technically forceful. You know what I mean? I mean, I'm gonna watch it regardless. You know, it's you put my favorite characters on there, I'm gonna watch it. I mean, even if they weren't those characters, I'll probably still watch them. You know, as long as it's interesting. That is. I plan to put season 5A out this year. Yeah, we'll see how long it takes for me to catch up with that, eh? If I catch up with your season 5, or if you put out season 5 first before I catch up. It'll be very interesting to see that, Mr. Dan. I know you're coming out with a new one right now. I know you are. Oh, see, I just lost another one. What the frick? Bruh. See, I don't understand this up and down bullshit. I'm not understanding it at all, but whatever. Whatever. You got weird ass people that don't know. They can't make up their minds. They subbed, then they unsubbed, then they resub again. It's crazy. It's craziness, I tell you. insanity. But, like I said, it will break the trend eventually. Eventually. Anyways, we're back. Season 2. We got episode 1 and episode 2. Show some love to my man Dan Reviews channel in the description, as well as the playlist for this in the description as well. Tell Mr. Ray's saying. But yeah, Chris the Killer of Days Family is back in current time. Ooh. Big eyes surprise there. I see you. I see you. Like I said, 5 likes. We're gonna hit 5 likes. I'll do episode 3 and 4 sooner rather than later. So keep that in mind. So, like I said, I'll do Shit of Us Part 2 tomorrow. Or tonight, I mean. I'm not used to the sun being up, so. So I keep thinking tonight, but it's actually tonight. Not last night. The morning throwing me off. So. Shit of us. I don't you like that? Shit of us part 2? Why does that roll off the tongue? I don't know why. Don't ask me. You can blame Neil Cockman for that. You like that one too, Cockman? That's bad. You know, it's almost like it was meant to be. Maybe he should have named himself that. I don't know. That sounds better. It's sad because, you don't want to call it that, but that's kind of what it came to. Of course, I'm more respectful when it comes to Don, which, because you say that around him, then he's just like, you're a hater. But that's honestly that's what part 2 is for me, at least. For me, it is. But we'll see. We'll see if they do a part 3. I don't know. With Dom sipping as he is, he probably will. Especially when you talk to Neil, it's probably like, "Hey Neil, you make a part 3, yeah." One of your biggest fans, you need to make it. Let's see. Like I said, if we are getting it, I don't see it until after 2030. Which some people think I'm crazy for saying that, but I don't think it's crazy. I think it's pretty reasonable for how long it takes in development. Especially when you got Intergalactic, and then supposedly they're doing another game. So I mean, when you're doing that many titles, it's gonna take a bit. So yeah, that's what I'm thinking. After 2030. 2031 and 2034 is kind of what I'm thinking. Somewhere in that time frame. That we could probably get the game. More than likely get the game. Of course, that would be the PS6 at that point. At this rate, since Sony likes to keep throwing us a new system every 6 years or whatever, 7 years, because of money. If I can make a better installment of my series here. Oh, you've already done better, my friend. What are you talking about? Shit. Season 1 by itself was better. Better than part 2. So, there's that. And you get pretty decent views on it too. You get about 400 to 500 views. First episode being the best, 1.9K. That's not bad. But I mean, yeah, that's what you're averaging. Then you get a couple that get a little bit low, but you expect that with the series. Damn, you must have killed that toilet. Oh, maybe she's taking a shower. Maybe that's what it is. Has to be. I don't know what else that would be.
Yeah, they must be in the shower or something.
No, you're definitely making a better one though. Alrighty, so what's the title for this one? Let's see. The Vanishing. Oh. Alright. Here we go, baby. Left a like. I've been leaving a like on every one. So whatever it is, it's going up. Love your intros too. Pretty dope. Alright, here we go. Season 2. Episode 1.
Season 2, Episode 1, The Vanishing, the season premiere. It's the middle of the night. It's starting to rain, and we see two strangers, and they are sitting by a campfire. Frank, the first guy, says, "We really gotta find some food. We have about a week's worth left, if we're lucky enough." Steve, the other guy, says, "I'm more worried about what's out here." And Frank says, "If we don't find food for the community, Wesley's gonna be furious," confirming they are part of Lincoln's group and residents of the suburban estates. And Steve says, "We've been out here for 2 weeks, and we have nothing to show but 3 rifles and 6 cans of food." Frank says, "Hopefully Lincoln and Tom found more supplies than we did." Then out of nowhere, Frank gets stabbed in the back through the heart. Steve looks next to him, seeing Frank getting stabbed and killed, and when he turns around to see who just did it.
No way, not Frank.
We see it's Chris standing there with a bloody knife, and when Steve fully turns around, before he even gets a chance to speak, Chris slits Steve's throat, and he says,
Damn.
"Wow, he's a bleeder. Wow, he's got cool boots. I could use those." He takes his boots and walks down the road. As we zoom out on Chris walking down the road, we see the rain and hear the thunder.
Wow. Damn. That's a way to start. Poor Frank. Poor Mr. Frank. Kill him off in the first 5 seconds. Or 30 seconds. 30 seconds. Damn. We add more intro to it. Interesting. Can't believe we killed Frank already, though. Poor Frank. R.I.P. Chat.
3 months after season 1.
Alright.
At 2 a.m. at night, Lincoln is sitting up from his bed and we can see Haley, his wife, is asleep. Then Lincoln looks at his gun and machete and he decides to take them and quietly walk out of the house.
Okay. Pictures are pretty cool.
Lincoln goes to the gate and tells the guard, "Mark, to open the gate. We see the gate open, and Lincoln walks out with his machete. Minutes later, Lincoln gets to the covered bridge. He notices a few deadheads on the other side of the bridge. He runs towards them and starts brutally killing them all. We can see the anger on his face as he's killing them one by one.
Okay. Frank, the longest lasting character. Oh, he doesn't die. Wow, that's impressive.
Lincoln turns around to see the hole in the bridge from where they fell. And then we see a look of relief on Lincoln's face as he walks away.
That's impressive if he survives that. I'm impressed if that's the case.
Lincoln returns to the community and he goes back home for the night. Luckily, we can see that Haley is still fast asleep and Lincoln doesn't get caught. The next morning, Lincoln wakes up and he notices Haley isn't in bed anymore. She calls out for Lincoln and tells him that breakfast is ready.
Oh, damn, you picked a really good picture of food.
Lincoln walks into the dining room and thanks her, and then Haley asks, "Are you going out there today?" And Lincoln says, "Yeah, me and Tom are going out there to see what we can find and bring back. Should be gone only a few days or so." Haley says, "Yeah, I just don't want you to push yourself for this community. And Tom, too. I mean, you guys aren't the leaders, after all. Why should it be you guys doing this?" Lincoln says, "Listen, Wesley is not the kind of guy that you can just walk up and talk to. I don't know what the hell's going on with him, but he doesn't seem well." Haley says, "Well, just don't feel like you have to fix everyone's problems around here." Lincoln chuckles and says, "I know. Being a prison guard made me want to help people that needed it. Then, eventually, I just stopped wanting to help people." Haley asks, "Why'd you stop?" Lincoln says, "Because the world drives people mad, babe." Haley says, "Well, anyway, good luck out there today." And as Lincoln is finishing up his breakfast, he hears Tom pull up in his driveway in a big truck.
Yeah, don't overdo it. Not if they're not gonna repay you back.
Tom steps out and says, "All right, buddy, let's go." Lincoln says, "Oh my God, man, do you not listen to anything I say? I specifically said 10 o'clock sharp." And Tom says, "No, you said 8 o'clock, and to not show up later than 10 o'clock. And Lincoln says, "Oh my God, you're deaf sometimes. But anyway, just come in."
Damn.
Lincoln says, "Have a seat. I'll get my things and then we can hit the road." Tom talks to one of Lincoln's kids, his son Ryan. Ryan wants Tom to go and check out his action figure collection he's got in his room. Tom accepts to go check it out while Lincoln is getting his things ready.
No, I'm kidding, you died LOL. Oh!
Lincoln is packing up his stuff and we see him take his gun and his machete and he puts his gun in his holster and also his machete. And he picks up his bag and yells out, "Okay, Tom, let's hit the road, buddy."
Kick some ass.
Lincoln says goodbye to his family and he and Tom drive out to the suburban estates to go find supplies for their home to survive.
I mean, I figured he would probably die. That's not something to come back from. Not getting stabbed at the heart.
5 days later, Lincoln and Tom wake up in a train car. It looks like they've spent the night there. We can see that they're sleeping in sleeping bags. And then Lincoln says, "We're going to find some food today." And Tom says, "We're going to have to because we've been out here for almost a week." And Lincoln says, "All right, before I head out, I'll check up on Frank and Steve. I'll see if they found anything good." Lincoln tries to radio Frank and Steve, but there's no response. Lincoln says, "Damn it, they must be out of range." And Tom says, "Could be anything. In these areas, there's a lot of bad shit here."
I like how small that walkie.
Lincoln keeps trying. Frank, this is Lincoln. Pick up your walkie and respond. Tom says, they're probably fine. They're probably just out of range, like he said. Lincoln says, maybe.
I just like how small that walkie was. That was tiny.
Then suddenly, Tom notices two men on horseback riding up the road, and Tom quickly warns Lincoln to get back into the train car and hide before they see them. Lincoln looks kind of scared, but then he quickly hides inside of the train car with Tom, in hopes that these men don't see them. Lincoln whispers to Tom, let's hope they just pass by. Tom says, but if they find us, we're dead. So let's make sure they don't.
Ooh. Intensify.
Back at the suburban estates, we see the community is doing well. They're growing their own food, and we can see things are going really well for them. As we follow Sydney, walking around the community, she walks by Luke, who says, good morning, Sydney. And then she also notices Wesley on his porch, smoking a cigarette, and giving her a mean look.
Interesting.
Wesley walks back into his house and sits in the chair and pours himself a glass of whiskey.
In the morning? Yeah.
We see Wesley put a handgun on his desk. He picks the gun up from his desk and points the gun to his head. He doesn't pull the trigger. He puts the gun down, but we can see he's dealing with a lot. And Wesley tells himself, this place needs a better leader, so I best protect what's mine. This place is gonna stand this time! And he chugs the whole glass of whiskey and lets out a big scream.
Damn. That was really good. That was really good. That was good impression.
Lincoln and Tom are hiding inside the train car. The two men are on horses, and they clear a few deadheads on their way by. One of the men takes out a baseball bat and kills two deadheads, and the other guy kills another deadhead with a double-barrel shotgun and blows its head off, and then starts laughing about it with his friend. Lincoln and Tom see this, and they look a bit freaked out, and then luckily the men on the horses get called in on their walkie-talkies, and someone tells these two men that they need to come now, and they quickly ride off down the road and away from the train car.
Definitely interesting.
Lincoln looks relieved, but Tom looks suspicious. Once the men are all the way down the road, Lincoln and Tom walk out of the train car, and Tom suggests that they should follow their trail. And they see where they're going, and they see who they are. And Lincoln says, we need to find Frank and Steve, and Tom says, why does it matter? Lincoln says, because they are Wesley's people, and if we come back without them, that's not going to look good on us, at all. Tom responds with, since when do people ever seem like the good people in the apocalypse? Lincoln says, look, I know you're still fixated on Dave. I'm not blind. I know you still want to kill him. And I know that you want to know where he is. But we have a lot on our plate right now. And I need you with me. Not out here every day looking for Dave. And Tom says, look, you let that go. But I can't. Tom walks down the road looking like he wanted to say more to Lincoln. But he walks off instead. And Lincoln starts walking behind him down the road to see where those men went.
Damn. Frickin' Dave. Frickin' Dave.
Lincoln and Tom are walking down the road when suddenly they hear screams. They don't want to be out in the open, so they go into the woods.
Bastard still gets away. Just to live on another day.
Then as Lincoln and Tom walk up ahead a little bit, they see two guys on the road from before, and two other men, and Lincoln and Tom hide in the woods so they don't see them. But they see the four men standing in front of a random 30-year-old man.
Ooh, that could be... That's interesting.
They see that the guy is begging for his life, but one of the men slits the guy's throat as he's begging for forgiveness. And Lincoln and Tom see this, and they look a little bit freaked out. As they see the blood just pouring from this guy's throat, one of the guys takes his knife and starts cutting around his neck. And Lincoln and Tom are already horrified seeing this, but then they take the guy's head off and they play catch with it as they laugh out loud. Lincoln and Tom are just watching this from the woods.
Jesus. That's gruesome. Damn. Very descriptive.
Then suddenly, Lincoln and Tom turn around behind them in the woods, and there's 3 more men with guns being pointed at them. And one of the men walks up to Lincoln and says, "Hi, you must be the leader. We've been trying to find you for a long time." Lincoln just looks shocked and asks, "How do you know me?" And the guy says, "I ask the questions, you answer." The guy knocks Lincoln and Tom out as we see it from Lincoln's perspective.
Oh, shit. Oh, damn. Fricked in the ass again.
2 hours later, Lincoln and Tom wake up in an old bar and both tied to chairs. Lincoln asks Tom if he's okay, and Tom says, "He hit me pretty hard." And Lincoln says, "We gotta get out of here."
Poor Tom. He'll get his justice. Frickin' Dave.
Then 3 men come in, and the leading man says, "Now, where the hell do you think you're going?" Lincoln says, "Let us out of here and we'll talk." The man says, "I'm Gary." Gary tells Lincoln and Tom, "You people were spying on us and watching us from the woods. That's pretty creepy, man, don't you think?" Lincoln asks Gary why they killed that man on the road. Gary says, "He was a runner and we ended his life quickly." Lincoln interrupts and says, "Yeah, and chopped his head off and threw it around." "What are you people?" Lincoln says.
Yeah, it's pretty fucked up. Playing like a bull. Pretty messed
Gary
up.
asks Lincoln, "So tell me, where do you folks come from?" Lincoln says, "How do you know we come from anywhere?" "Our leader told us." "Chris knows you people have a lot in that fairyland of yours." Lincoln says, "Well, if you think I'm going to take you there, you're sadly mistaken." Gary says, "Well, maybe if we show up with you and your friend here," meaning Tom, "they'll let us in." He smirks at Lincoln. Tom looks angry and looks like he wants to say something, but he doesn't. Gary tells them, "Fine, we'll eat tonight." Gary walks away, and Lincoln and Tom are still tied to the chairs, and Lincoln looks scared, and Tom looks mad.
Oh shit. That's definitely concerning. Right.
3 hours later, Gary walks back into the bar and unties Lincoln and Tom, and 2 other men are with Gary. And Lincoln asks, "What? You gonna finally kill us?" Gary says, "Nah, too easy. We're gonna take you back to our place so we can get the answers we need." Tom looks mad hearing this, but Lincoln says, "You best not hurt anyone I care about, because there's a damn good reason why we're still standing."
No facts on that. No. Facts on that.
We see the men on the horses. They have Lincoln and Tom in the back of the wagon, blindfolded. And we see these men taking Lincoln and Tom into this very well-guarded factory with dozens of men. This factory appears to be Chris's home. As we focus on the factory fence, it zooms out on a car parked outside of the factory. Someone appears to be watching them. Then we see a car pull up and it parks outside of the factory. It appears someone is spying on these people. Then the man walks out. It's Dave.
Oh, fucking. What? Jesus Christ. Of course! I guess the fucking Dave.
He pulls out his lighter and lights a cigarette as he spies on the factory.
Well, you sure as hell didn't keep him away for very long, now did you? To be continued. What the? God damn it. They gave me the gun. I want to kill him right away. That was pretty good. That was pretty good. 9 out of 10. I'll give you a 9. A solid 9. Very good beginner. Yeah, shocking death in the beginning. And another character getting brutally killed. Crazy. We made this new group, which was definitely interesting with how they do things. And you bring back Wonderful Dave. Chris killed Dave's family, as we know. He's back for justice. Ah! Well, maybe. Awesome, glad you enjoyed it. Yeah, it was a good premiere. It was. Definitely had good suspense. What a way to start the season, though, for real. He wasn't even gone for one damn episode. And you already bring it back. God damn it. Like I said, give me the gun, I'll kill him. I'm in this misery right now. He's the type of villain I hate because he doesn't go away. It's like Anton. Freaking Anton. You hate him so goddamn much, but the bastard won't die. Because nobody wants to kill him. But he needs to die. This is a piece of shit. But oh no! We keep him alive. Out of despite. What's up with Wesley? He's being crazy. Yeah, he's you know what he's reminding me of? He's reminding me of Marlon from the final season. Literally, okay. He's literally making her remind me of him. Because he was the same way. Like, he gets all rage and shit when things, you know, when people get killed or having trouble getting food, you know what I mean? Things like that. Things not really going the way, you know what I mean? He goes insane. He loses it. Good comparison, actually. Seriously, it really does line up pretty damn well. When he did that, I was just like, you know what, that makes me think of Marlon. Because he did the same shit. He did. So, awesome. I don't know. Again, I don't know how you do it, but that did not feel like 20 minutes. I'll be real with you. And I know that was 20 minutes, but that did not feel like 20 minutes. I don't know how you do it. Must be a magic magician or something. That did not feel like 20 minutes. I'll be real with you. Thing is, though, is Dave, he's tracking Chris, the man that killed his family. They went to see what he's been up to. Yeah, that's a good question. For sure, for sure. Definitely, definitely. Alright. Last but not least, episode 2, Justified. So again, hit that like button, appreciate it. 5 likes, and we'll continue 3 and 4 sooner rather than later. I might even do it by the end of the week, or into the weekend, if you guys want it that quickly. So, like I said, hit that like button. Subscribe. You guys are going to be part of the Warriors Army. Appreciate it. We're on the road to 8K. Getting very close here to crushing 6.1K. And we got episode, what is it, 128? Hedgehog Bros? Or 127? Whatever. 128, I think it is. And I'll be doing that one next, right after the stream. So yeah. AK, let's get there. Hell yeah. Definitely, man. We got this. We're keeping the grind going. We got a lot of fire content on the way. So yeah, so I'll definitely do Hedgehog Bros tonight again, and then Shit of Us Part 2. And then if I have time, I'll maybe squeeze another one in there. I don't know which one though. I'm not really sure. It all depends on like how much time I have when I do it. I'll probably keep it on. Yeah.
So it was like seeing my phone's kind of dark looking too.
Yeah. Unfortunately, the sun is not shining today, which makes it darker than it would usually be.
No, I can't tell by your eyes.
No, I was just saying this I wasn't saying that in a stupid way.
I know. I was just like,
I was saying that just in a funny way. Unfortunately, I hate rain.
Who doesn't hate rain? Oh, the people that don't hate rain are the ones that hate snow, and people that don't hate snow are the ones that
I mean, I don't mind snow. I just knowing that I have to drive in it. That's what I hate. Because obviously roads are shit, which means then you can't cruise like you want to. The cops are here for Dave. Oh damn.
Don't you go to the cops?
Oh man.
I don't.
If only, brother. If only.
I don't think that was the cops. I think that was more of
No, it was an ambulance
yeah,
or fire truck. Which unfortunately we get that. I don't want to say pretty frequent, but
Well, not as frequent as it used to be.
no, it's definitely been quieted down a little bit, thankfully. Don't live here in Canada, then snow 24/7 LOL. Well, I'm not surprised by that. You're further up north. I assume you're probably still getting snow right now, aren't you? I mean,
You snowed in.
we actually got half an inch or a quarter of an inch right now, but it's melting right now. Without a question.
You haven't talked about that S-word stuff.
Oh, apparently it's starting again in 15 minutes, but on an inch is expected. No, whatever. Again, it will be gone by the end of the day, so it don't even matter. Because it's supposed to be like 59 degrees today, so yeah, so it'll be gone. It's almost gone now, luckily. Oh, well, that's good. Yeah, it depends on how far north you are. That's really what it. That's really what it depends. So, yeah, it's supposed to be 59, so it'll be pretty warm. So episode 2, 21 minutes. So. Yeah, I don't know how you do it. I don't feel like 20 minutes. I'll be real with you. Definitely don't.
Season 2, Episode 2, Justified. We see the car parked outside of the factory.
Frickin' Dave, probably.
Dave looks at the fence and thinks he could make it over it. But when he approaches the fence, one of the cowboys comes up behind him and points a shotgun to his head, and the guy says, "Not a smart idea. Are you looking to get a bullet in your head, sir? Because you might have just earned one." Dave puts his gun down to prove to this man that he doesn't want any trouble.
Oh, is this like a little explanation on how?
When Dave drops the gun on the ground, the guy says, "See? Didn't have to be hard." And once the man starts to lower his gun, Dave says, "I didn't know what this place was at first, but I think I'm getting a good idea." The guy says, "I thought you might have tried to kill me or something." And Dave looks at the factory in front of him and looks back at the guy and says, "I just wanted some knowledge about this place, good sir." Then David headbutts this man and knocks him down on the ground, then picks up his pistol up off the ground and says, "You're my way in. You see? It didn't have to be hard." Dave laughs and knocks the guy out.
Oh, damn. Well, that's a way to start. Frickin' Dave. You're definitely making me hate a character. I don't like Dave. crazy psycho.
Back at the suburban estates. Sydney wakes up and looks out the window. She sees the sunrise and she goes downstairs to wake up her sister, Emma, and she knocks on her door and says, "Come on, sis, wake up." And Emma says, "I'll be out in a few minutes." And Sydney says, "All right, I'll wait outside." And then Sydney walks out of the house.
Okay.
Sydney and Emma tell Mark that they are going out on a run, and Mark says, "Lincoln and Tom are going to be back soon, hopefully." Sydney says, "We don't have all the time in the world. Kids are going to start going hungry soon." That's not happening. Mark decides to let them out, and Sydney says they'll be back by the end of the day. Back at the factory.
I kind of guessed that one.
Lincoln is locked up in a room without Tom. His hands are tied and he's in a room with two other prisoners. And Lincoln looks at these two guys that are sitting there and says, "I'm Lincoln." And one of the guys says, "How did you get here?" And Lincoln says, "Me and my friends were just trying to find supplies and these people stopped us from doing just that. And, well, here we are." And Lincoln says, "I gotta get out of here. I gotta find my friend and figure out what's at stake." One of the guys introduces himself and says, "Well, hi, my name's Blake, and that's Joel." Lincoln says, "Look, getting to know you people is not exactly a priority of mine, so let's start talking about how we can get out of here." And Blake says, No, I get it. But these people have a lot of guns and a lot of fighters from what I can tell." Lincoln says, "The first step is getting us out of here. And then we find my friend, and once I accomplish that, we all escape this place together, with everyone still breathing." Blake looks at Lincoln and says, "Well, you got yourself a deal."
Interesting. But I definitely agree with you.
16 miles away from the factory, Dave has this man tied up in a barn. And the man looks at the barn door, and it opens up, and Dave walks in and throws a picture on the ground. It's a picture of the man's family, and Dave says, "I found this in your jacket pocket." And the man would say, "Don't touch my shit." Dave looks at him and says, "Well, if you won't spill your guts, then I guess I'll have no choice, won't I?" Dave says, "We'll start with your name." The man answers, "Keith. You mind telling me what's yours?" Dave says, "Dave." Keith smiles when he hears this, and Dave says, "Well, Keith, I got some things I need to ask you about here. First off, that place you're at, is that your home, or is that where you guys all just do the stupid shit that you do?" Keith says, "I'm not able to reveal that information at the moment." Dave says, "All right, I don't have time for this session of Let's Chit Chat." Then Dave would punch him twice, and then Keith would say, "My goddamn nose! You son of a bitch!" Dave says, "My people are in danger. Tell me where they are." Dave would punch him again.
Damn. That's why I hate Dave. Some store.
Outside the suburban estates, Sydney and Emma are outside the walls and in the woods, and they are walking through this field and they see blood on the ground. Sydney says, as she looks at Emma, "Something very terrible happened here." Emma says, "We should know." And Sydney says, "I don't want to screw this up, but this could be connected to why Lincoln and Tom aren't back yet." Emma asks, "You think?" Sydney says, "Well, I'm just saying it's strange that Lincoln and Tom haven't come back yet, and Frank and Steve for even longer." Emma says, "We should warn Wesley." Sydney says, "Wesley? we're not doing anything for that weasel. Then they walk off and try to see if they can find anything else that might tell them what this is.
Well, it's good that they're concerned. They have every right to be.
Back at the factory. Lincoln, Blake, and Joel are in the cell, and Blake says, "Someone's coming." Lincoln looks slightly scared, but he keeps his cool as the two men open the cell door, and one of the guys says, "That one," and take Joel away. Blake tries to stop it, but one of the guards takes his rifle and knocks Blake on the floor. And Lincoln asks, "What are you gonna do with Joel?" And the guy says, "Shut up!" Then he shuts the cell door and locks it, and now it's only Lincoln and Blake in the cell.
Oh, damn.
16 miles away from the factory. Dave continues to punch Keith and says, "No more bullshit. Why did your leader kill my folks, rape the women, kill innocent kids that had nothing to do with this?" He says, "Look, I don't know who you think I am, but you're mistaking me for someone else." Dave would look at him directly in the eyes and says, "I don't think I am." And then he'd punch him again, and then Dave starts to walk out of the barn, and Keith says, "I really don't think your wife and daughter would be proud of you right now."
Oh. Damn. That's kind of stupid of him to say that. Oh, Lord.
Dave would be completely thrown off by this and look back at him and say, "How do you know about them?" Keith would just smile at him and says, Your old friend Chris." And Dave would run back into the barn and start punching him over and over again, and he would be yelling, "What do you know about them, you prick?"
Damn. Jesus Christ. God.
We zoom out on the barn door as we hear Dave punching Keith.
Oh.
Back at the factory, Blake wakes up and Lincoln says, "You alright, man? He knocked you out when you were trying to stop them from taking Joel." Blake quickly gets up and says, "Wait, why, where's he now?" Lincoln in a panicked voice says, I don't know, okay? Look, calm down, we'll find him, alright?" Blake says, "Alright, how?" Lincoln says, "We'll have to wait till the next time they come, but when they do, I'll take care of it." Blake asks, "What is that supposed to mean?" We see a positive look on Lincoln's face as we see him pull out a pocket knife out of his boot. Blake looks surprised and asks, "How did you do that?" Lincoln says, "A few months ago I found someone that did horrible things and killed good people, but he got away. That's when I decided that you can never be too careful." Blake would say, "Well, smart thinking."
Yeah, smart thinking. 100%. Damn. Working on
But
top.
before Lincoln gets a chance to tell Blake his plan, they hear two men coming. Lincoln quickly puts his knife in his back pocket. Then after a few more seconds, the two men with guns tell them, "You both are getting out." Lincoln says, "What?" Blake asks, "What did you do to them?" Lincoln looks at Blake with a small smile because he didn't say just Joel, he said them, meaning Tom as well. Then one of the guys says, "Gary has some words he needs to say." And then the two men point their guns right at Lincoln's face. And one of the guys looks at Blake and says, "Start walking or I will blow Lincoln's brains out." Blake starts walking out of the cell and down the hall.
Damn. This Keith guy sounds even worse than David. Huh. Well, yeah. You're entirely wrong.
Lincoln and Blake are being forced to walk down this hall, and then one of the guards tells them to go left and go out the exit. Then they walk towards the exit doors. The men are telling Lincoln to open up the door, but Lincoln won't do it. Blake can tell Lincoln is about to do something, and one of the men walk up behind Lincoln. Lincoln lets the man get close to him. The guard says, "Go out the door, now."
Damn.
Then Lincoln headbutts the guy and tackles him to the ground. Blake tries to think fast and tries to punch the other guy, but the other man thinks fast and punches Blake and starts beating him up. Meanwhile, Lincoln is fighting the other guy and quickly takes out his pocket knife and sticks the knife into the other guy's eye socket. And the guy screams out in pain.
Holy shit. Oh my god. Wow, he's ballsy. Hopefully it goes well.
Then Lincoln takes the guy's machine gun off of him and points it right directly to his head, and with no hesitation pulls the trigger. And then he turns around and points the machine gun to the man that is punching Blake, and he would say, "Get the hell away from him." The man would have no choice but to let Blake go, and then Lincoln would continue to point the gun to the guy's head and ask, "How many people are here?" The man would start laughing and say, "Here? Couple dozen. But you're a dead man for sure. You're all dead." And then Lincoln would shoot him in the head and then look back at Blake and say, "A couple dozen it is then." He finds a pistol in one of the guy's holsters and gives it to Blake. Blake would look around to see the dead man on the ground, and then Lincoln would start looking through their pockets. And then he would reveal to Blake that he found the keys.
Ooh, very interesting.
Lincoln says, "We gotta find Tom and Joel and get the hell out of here." Blake agrees, and then him and Lincoln run down the hall with guns and start looking for them. Outside of the suburban estates. It's getting dark now. Sydney and Emma keep looking for any more signs of where Lincoln or Tom could have possibly been. But then they come across a truck.
Okay.
Sydney looks into the front of the truck. She sees the driver has turned into a deadhead, and she slowly opens up the door and kills the dead truck driver with her knife. She then tries to start up the truck a few times over, but after a couple tries, Emma says, "It's probably out of gas." Sydney looks back and says, "Yeah, I think I got that." She looks a bit annoyed, but she says, "Let's keep moving and find a place to stay for the night." Emma agrees and says, "Well, if we're gonna do that, we should check if there's any food in the back of this thing." Sydney says, "Smart idea, actually."
Sure as hell would be.
But when they open up the back of the truck, there are dozens of dead bodies stored in the back of the truck, and they are all headless.
Oh god. Jesus. It's gruesome, man.
Sydney and Emma would look disturbed, and they'd be disgusted by the smell.
Yeah, I bet.
Back at the factory. Lincoln and Blake would currently be walking down the hallway, but then Lincoln hears something. Blake puts his gun up, and Lincoln says, "I think we're just a little paranoid. Let's keep moving." An explosion goes off, and Lincoln and Blake get back up off the ground and run down the hall so fast. They see behind them 5 men with machine guns running after them down this long hallway. And Lincoln and Blake quickly go down the rest of the stairs and run down the stairs as fast as they can.
Oh, damn. Oh, shit.
They run to the bottom floor and they go into the first room to their left. They can hear 5 men running down the stairs after them. Lincoln and Blake have to think fast and go into the room and close the door before the men see them. Once they close the door, they hear the sound of chains and growling. Lincoln and Blake turn around to see a few dozen deadheads hanging on chains.
Oh,
And
damn.
Lincoln and Blake look a bit scared, and Lincoln says,
Oh my god.
That's fucked up. That's some crazy shit. God. There's the bodies. By the way. Yeah, that's crazy.
Sydney and Emma are walking, and it's raining now, and Sydney says, we're gonna have to turn back, and Emma says, we need to get back home, and Sydney says, we need to find somewhere closer. Emma looks like she agrees. They come across the barn, and they decide to go in. Sydney tries to open the door, but it won't open. And then they decide to go around the barn and try to open the back door. They are approaching the back door, and then suddenly they see a man being thrown off the roof of this barn, and he's being brutally hung in front of them.
Oh, let me guess. It's frickin' Dave, man. And, Dave and Keith. Or Keith.
It's Keith. He's the man being hung.
Eh.
Then suddenly, as Sydney and Emma look at this happen, the barn door opens.
Oh, no. Not a place where you want to be. Not a stupid ass
A bunch
Dave.
of men with guns tell Sydney and Emma to put their hands up, so they do. Sydney and Emma look scared, and then, as the men are pointing the guns at them, they hear footsteps, and then when Sydney looks at her right, she sees a man.
Dave. Frickin' Dave.
We see it's Dave come out of the tall grass, and he says, well, I've always been an honest man, so I gotta be honest. You are pretty much fucked, my dear.
I did. Ah! What a way to end that. It's kind of catchy. Wow. That's pretty good. Ooh. Ugh. Yeah, you got that before Jones. Ugh. Sydney and Emma are screwed out of the wall. Yes, yeah, they're fucked. Part of me wishes they didn't go there. Ugh. I knew 100% they were gonna be fucked. That situation. Badass scene though with Lincoln and Blake. That was badass. Frickin' savageness. Truthfully. Death on another level. I would say. Crazy. I'll give it an 8.5. 8.5. I think that's a good rating. 8.5 out of 10. It's very solid. Very solid. Very solid. Damn, that did not feel like 20 minutes either. I don't know how you do it. Like I said, I don't know. You had to be the magic man or something. You have to be or something. I don't know. That's crazy how it's not even. I'm not even feeling the length. Like that's crazy, brother. You're making it so smooth that it doesn't even feel like it's like that lengthy. We're in a new territory this season. Yeah, it's freaking shit. If your show couldn't get any darker, Jesus Christ. If anything, you're making me hate Dave more. So I guess if you're trying to do that, congratulations. I'm hating him more than ever. Not a question. Yeah, that was a badass fight. Definitely interesting seeing Emma and Sydney. Trying to find Lincoln and Tom, and concerned where they're at, but also trying to get supplies at the same time. So it's a mix of a couple different things that they're trying to do. That was definitely interesting. But then you had Lincoln and Blake, very badass scene. Definitely some fire moments, I would say. Ballsiness though in the beginning though, with Dave running into him, you know what I mean? They beats his ass and this and that. That's crazy. That's craziness. So, yeah, you've been great with the intros. I'll tell you what. So, I could confirm Dave will get a solo episode coming up. God damn it. Nah, not Dave. Nah. Damn it. Don't torture me like that. Come on. Can't torture me like that. I really do. I do not like his character. He's that evil bastard that does not go away. As many times as his ass keeps getting his ass whooped, he continues to keep thinking that he's on top like king. And he definitely gets his moments to act like that and be like that. But it always comes tumbling down. Excuse me. So, so that was episode 1 and episode 2. First episode of 9, second episode of 8.5. I appreciate it, Jan. I'm glad you enjoyed it. Yeah, it was very good episodes. Definitely excited to continue. Very, very dark season already. And we're only 2 episodes in. That's insanity. Craziness. Craziness. I will have a playlist, of course, of my reactions to his series and all that good stuff. So, of course, I will have that link in the description as well when I get that bad boy created, etc. All that. So, season 2 is screwed up. You haven't seen anything yet. Oh, wonderful. I'm in for a wonderful treat then. Oh man, it's gonna be insanity. My interest will definitely be 100%, without a question. So, but yeah, so let me know what you guys thought. Hopefully you guys are enjoying it and are into the episodes as much as I am. Um, Let me know your thoughts in the chat or in the comment section below. Either one, and I'll definitely reply to them. And we'll have a conversation for sure. All that good stuff. Like I said, subscribe to Dan, show him some love. Would appreciate the channel in the description as well as the playlist for his entire series. Everything is on there, so definitely do check that out if you guys are intrigued and interested. I'm sure he would definitely appreciate that 100%. So, share it around. That'd be awesome. Would appreciate it. And we are now at the end, my good friends. So, like I said, 5 likes, and I'll do episode 3 and 4 sooner. Probably even this weekend. So, definitely hit that like. What I think I'm going to do here is for the next one, the Hedgehog Bros next episode. I think I'm going to save that for tonight. I'm going to do that episode first, then I'm going to do the next episode, and then Shit of Us Part 2. So I think that's what I'm going to do here, because obviously you can tell I'm kind of pooped, if you know what I mean. And I don't want to be, barely, in and out, all that, you know what I mean? Especially with that series, etc. Here, I was still there, but you could tell I was starting to kind of get a little bit tired. But I didn't miss any details though, because I was paying attention. I was still into it. And just my tiredness was really showing, obviously. So, but yeah. So. So, smash like, subscribe, and we'll have 3 streams tonight, so stay tuned for that. And yes, I am going to shoot for that. So, I know I got to continue the regular walkthrough of part 2, so I got to definitely jump into that. So, definitely do stay tuned, and might have a couple shorts as well, so definitely do stay tuned for those as well. That'll kind of be extra content I kind of throw up there. And yeah, so I hope you guys enjoyed all that good stuff. Like, subscribe, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Over is signing off. Peace. Have a good one, guys. Much love, association.